The massive alien ship hung in Earth's orbit like a dark metal mountain. Inside the United Nations Space Command Center, Captain Maria Rodriguez stared at the screens showing the Velthari vessel. Her brown eyes were calm, but her hands gripped the edge of the command table. "They're broadcasting again," said Colonel James Park, her second in command. The tall man with graying hair moved to her side. "Same message as before," Rodriguez nodded. "Put it through." The main screen flickered. A tall alien with blue-gray skin and 4 arms appeared. Ambassador Krixtal's voice was cold and mechanical through the translator. "Primitive humans of Earth, this is your final warning. You have 7 of your days to evacuate mining sectors 12 through 18. The Velthari Empire requires these resources. Comply, or face the consequences that befell the Zephyrians and the Altair colonies." The transmission ended. Silence filled the command center. Rodriguez looked around at her team. Dr. Elena Volkov sat at the science station, her fingers dancing over holographic displays. Commander David Stone stood near the intelligence console, his scarred face showing no emotion. "Captain," said Lieutenant Jake Morrison from the communications desk, "we're getting reports from all over the system. More alien ships are jumping in near Jupiter." Rodriguez walked to the center of the room. For 30 years, humanity had been dealing with these aliens. They came with their superior technology and their demands. Most species gave them what they wanted. Those who didn't ended up like the Zephyrians, extinct. "Dr. Volkov," Rodriguez said, "status report on our special projects." The Russian scientist looked up from her screens. "All systems are ready, Captain. The asteroid installations are fully operational. The hidden platforms throughout the solar system are online. Project Prometheus is standing by." Stone stepped forward. "Intelligence confirms the Velthari brought their 3rd fleet. 12 heavy cruisers, 4 battleships, and their flagship dreadnought. They think this will be another easy conquest." Rodriguez almost smiled. The aliens had made one crucial mistake. They thought humans were like every other species they had conquered. They saw Earth's simple technology and assumed humanity was weak. They never bothered to investigate what humans had been doing since first contact 30 years ago. "Colonel Park," she said, "are our people ready?" Park checked his tablet. "All defense grids are manned. The volunteer fleet is in position. Admiral Webb's strike force is standing by for Phase 2. Rodriguez walked to the main display. Earth looked peaceful from here, blue and green and beautiful, but hidden throughout the solar system, humanity's real strength waited in silence. "They want to know if we'll fight or run," she said to her team. "What they don't understand is that humans have been preparing for this moment for 3 decades. Dr. Volkov pulled up a holographic map of the solar system. Red dots showed Velthari ship positions. Green dots showed something else. Hundreds of them scattered through the asteroid belt and beyond. Every time they came for diplomatic visits, Volkov explained, we learned something new about their technology. Their weapons, their shields, their engines. We studied everything. Stone activated another display. We also learned about their psychology. The Velthari believe in overwhelming force. They never expect real resistance. When they conquered the Altair colonies, those people tried to negotiate until the very end." Rodriguez nodded. "But humans don't negotiate with bullies. We prepare." Outside Earth's atmosphere, the Velthari fleet began to move. Admiral Thexvar commanded from his flagship, confident in his superiority. His sensors showed no human military vessels of significance. A few primitive patrol ships scattered near the inner planets. Some mining operations in the asteroid belt. Nothing that could threaten his mighty fleet. Back in the command center, Morrison announced, "Captain, they're moving toward the asteroid belt. Looks like they want to clear out our mining operations first." Rodriguez felt a cold satisfaction. "Perfect. They're following their standard pattern." Dr. Volkov's fingers flew over her controls. "All asteroid platforms are tracking multiple targets. Weapon systems are charged and ready." The Velthari had always used the same strategy. Destroy infrastructure first, then demand surrender. It had worked on dozens of worlds. But Earth was different. For 30 years, humans had been turning their asteroid mining operations into something else entirely. "Commander Stone," Rodriguez said, "send the activation codes." Stone's hands moved over his console. Codes transmitted. All stations acknowledge receipt. Throughout the asteroid belt, massive rocks that had looked empty for decades suddenly came alive. Hidden doors opened. Weapon systems emerged from carefully disguised installations. Railguns that could punch through starship armor swiveled toward their targets. Admiral Thexvar was studying tactical displays when his sensors officer made a disturbing report. "Sir, we're detecting massive power spikes throughout the asteroid field." "Impossible," Thexvar replied. "Human technology cannot generate such readings." But it could. For 30 years, human engineers had been improving on every piece of alien technology they could study. They had built weapons the Velthari had never imagined. On Earth, Rodriguez watched the tactical display with satisfaction. "Gentlemen, ladies," she announced to her team, "Protocol Omega is now active." The room buzzed with quiet excitement. Protocol Omega was humanity's deepest secret. Every human in the solar system knew their part. When the aliens came with demands, humans would not beg or surrender. They would fight with everything they had learned and built. "Captain," Morrison reported, "the first Velthari ship is approaching Asteroid Station 7. Rodriguez smiled for the first time that day. "Dr. Volkov, show them what humans have been doing while they thought we were primitive." The lead Velthari cruiser moved confidently through the asteroid field. These rocks posed no threat to their advanced shields. But as the ship passed a large asteroid, something impossible happened. The asteroid opened like a flower. Inside was not rock and ice, but metal and weapons. A massive electromagnetic pulse burst from hidden generators washing over the Velthari vessel. Their shields flickered and died. Their engines stopped. Their weapons went offline. In seconds, the mighty alien cruiser became a helpless metal shell drifting in space. Admiral Thexvar stared at his screens in shock. "What just happened?" His communications officer was pale with fear. "Sir, we've lost contact with the lead cruiser. Their entire power grid is down." "How is this possible?" Thexvar demanded. "Humans don't have this technology." But they did. And they had much more. Throughout the asteroid belt, hidden installations revealed themselves. What the Velthari had thought was empty space erupted with human weapons. Railguns fired solid projectiles at incredible speeds. EMP generators disabled alien systems. Swarms of small attack drones emerged from concealed bays. On Earth, Rodriguez watched her screens with grim satisfaction. The first phase was working perfectly, but this was only the beginning. "Colonel Park," she said, "signal Admiral Webb. Tell him Phase 2 is approved." Park spoke into his headset. Somewhere in the outer solar system, General Marcus Webb received the message he had been waiting for. The real attack was about to begin. Rodriguez looked at her team one last time. "The Velthari came here thinking we were weak. They're about to learn that humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy, not because we're the strongest or the smartest, but because we never stop learning, and we never forgive those who threaten innocent people." The first Velthari ship hung dead in space, its crew finally understanding they had made a terrible mistake. Earth was not another easy conquest. It was a trap 30 years in the making, and humanity was just getting started. The day Earth struck back, savage HFY retaliation stuns the Galactic Council Lieutenant Jake. Morrison floated in the control center of Asteroid Station 12, watching his screens with intense focus. Around him, the hidden facility buzzed with activity. For 3 decades, this rock had looked like just another piece of space debris. Now it revealed its true purpose as humanity's first line of defense. "Target lock on the Velthari battleship," reported Sergeant Lisa Torres from the weapons console. "Distance 40,000 kilometers and closing." Morrison nodded. "Wait for my signal." "Let them get closer." Outside, the alien fleet moved through the asteroid field with growing confusion. Admiral Thexvar had already lost 3 ships to the humans' electromagnetic weapons. His confidence was cracking. "How many more of these weapon platforms are hidden out here?" Thexvar demanded from his flagship. His tactical officer studied the displays with growing alarm. "Sir, our sensors are detecting power signatures from at least 50 more asteroids." "Maybe more." On Earth, Captain Rodriguez watched the battle unfold. The main screen showed the Velthari fleet scattered and confused among the asteroids. Dr. Volkov worked at her station, coordinating the hidden weapons throughout the belt. "Phase 1 is exceeding expectations," Volkov reported. "We've disabled 6 enemy vessels without losing a single installation." Commander Stone stepped forward. "Captain, we're intercepting Velthari communications. They're calling for reinforcements." Rodriguez smiled coldly. "Let them. The more ships they send, the more we can capture." Back in the asteroid field, Morrison watched the enemy battleship approach his station. The massive alien vessel B, bristled with weapons, but its crew had no idea they were flying into a carefully planned trap. "All stations report ready," Torres announced. Morrison took a deep breath. "Execute Pattern Alpha. All units open fire." The asteroid field exploded into action. Hidden railguns emerged from dozens of rocks, firing solid metal projectiles at incredible speeds. The Velthari had designed their shields to stop energy weapons, but kinetic rounds punched through them like paper. The lead battleship shuddered as tungsten rods slammed into its hull. Explosions rippled across its surface. Its return fire struck empty asteroids while the real weapon platforms remained hidden. Admiral Thexvar watched in horror as his mighty fleet was torn apart by an enemy he couldn't see. "How are they doing this? Our intelligence said humans had no military space capability." His science officer was frantically scanning the asteroids. "Sir, these aren't natural formations. The humans have been building fortifications inside them for decades. They've turned the entire asteroid belt into a fortress." On Asteroid Station 7, Captain Rick Foster coordinated the drone attacks. Thousands of small hunter-killer robots swarmed from hidden launch bays, too fast and numerous for the alien point defense systems to stop. "Drone Squadron Alpha has reached the enemy flagship," Foster reported over the communications network, "beginning precision strikes on their command systems." The drones were another human innovation. While the aliens relied on massive ships and overwhelming firepower, humans had learned to use swarms of small intelligent weapons. Each drone carried an electromagnetic warhead designed to disable specific alien systems. Dr. Volkov monitored the battle from Earth, adjusting tactics in real time. "Their shield generators are overloading," she announced. "Recommend switching to kinetic bombardment." Rodriguez nodded. "All stations, execute Phase 2 of the attack pattern." Throughout the asteroid belt, the hidden railguns began firing in coordinated salvos. Metal projectiles traveling at tremendous speeds converged on the remaining Velthari ships. Without their shields, the alien vessels were defenseless against the barrage. Admiral Thexvar's flagship rocked under multiple impacts. Emergency lights flickered as systems failed throughout the ship. His communications officer shouted over the alarms, "Sir, we've lost contact with half the fleet. The humans are jamming our frequencies." "Impossible," Thexvar replied. "They don't have the technology for wide-spectrum jamming." But they did. Commander Stone had spent years studying alien communication systems. Human jamming technology was now more advanced than anything the Velthari possessed. On Asteroid Station 12, Morrison watched the enemy fleet beginning to retreat. "Sergeant Torres, prepare the pursuit drones." "Don't let any of them escape," Torres smiled grimly. "With pleasure, sir." New swarms of drones launched from the asteroid installations. These were different from the attack models. Faster, with longer range. Designed to track fleeing enemies across vast distances. The surviving Velthari ships tried to run, but human technology had evolved beyond their understanding. The pursuit drones followed them toward the edge of the solar system, striking their engines and navigation systems. Admiral Thexvar found himself trapped on a crippled flagship, watching his proud fleet destroyed by humans he had dismissed as primitives. His tactical displays showed the devastating truth. They had lost over 70% of their ships to an enemy they never saw coming. "Send a distress signal to the Velthari High Command," he ordered desperately. "Sir, the humans are still jamming our long-range communications," his officer reported. On Earth, Rodriguez received reports from all across the solar system. The asteroid belt had become a graveyard of alien ships, but she knew this was only the beginning. "Dr. Volkov, status on our captured vessels?" Volkov checked her displays. "We have boarding teams on 12 disabled ships. The aliens are surrendering without resistance. They seem shocked that we're not killing the survivors." Commander Stone approached the captain. "Ma'am, we're detecting jump signatures at the edge of the system. It looks like Admiral Webb's strike force is ready for Phase 3. Rodriguez felt a surge of satisfaction. While the aliens had been focused on Earth, General Marcus Webb had been preparing humanity's real surprise. Using captured alien technology, human ships were about to do something unprecedented. "Signal Admiral Webb," Rodriguez ordered. "Tell him the solar system is secure. He is cleared for interstellar operations." Light years away, other alien species monitored the battle with growing amazement. The Galactic Council had expected another routine conquest. Instead, they were watching the impossible, humans fighting back with devastating effectiveness. Counselor Yathara of the peaceful Nexuri spoke to her aide with wonder. How did they develop such advanced weapons without anyone noticing? Her aide studied the intelligence reports. It appears they've been reverse engineering alien technology for decades. Every diplomatic visit, every trade mission, they were learning from us. Back in the asteroid field, Lieutenant Morrison coordinated the cleanup operations. Human ships emerged from hidden bases to collect the disabled alien vessels. Each captured ship would provide more technology to study and improve. Morrison to Earth Command, he reported. Asteroid Defense Grid reports total victory. Enemy fleet neutralized with 0 human casualties. Rodriguez felt proud of her people. They had achieved something no other species had managed. They had defeated a Velthari fleet without losing a single life. But as Stone approached with new intelligence, her expression grew serious. Captain, our long-range sensors are detecting something unusual. There are ships jumping toward Velthari home systems. The energy signatures match our FTL drives. Rodriguez realized what this meant. Admiral Webb's strike force was already moving against alien worlds, using technology the Velthari had never imagined humans could possess. How long until they reach their targets? She asked. Stone checked his calculations. 6 hours, ma'am. The Velthari High Command is about to discover that attacking Earth was the worst mistake they ever made. Rodriguez looked at the tactical display one more time. The asteroid belt was quiet now, filled with captured alien ships and triumphant human voices. But this victory was just the first step. Somewhere in deep space, human warships carried the fight to the enemy's doorstep. The hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy was about to learn that humanity would never again bow to alien threats. The day Earth struck back, savage HFY Retaliation. Stuns the Galactic Council General Marcus Webb stood on the bridge of the human starship Retribution, watching the Velthari homeworld grow larger on the main screen. Around him, his crew worked with quiet efficiency, preparing for humanity's first interstellar military operation. General, we have visual confirmation of the orbital defense platforms, reported Commander Patricia Hayes from the tactical station. 12 heavy stations, exactly as our intelligence predicted. Webb nodded. For 30 years, human spies had gathered information about alien military installations. Every diplomatic mission, every trade negotiation had been an opportunity to learn. Now that knowledge would be put to use. Status of Strike Teams 2 and 3? Webb asked. Lieutenant Colonel Mike Anderson consulted his display. Team 2 is approaching the Velthari industrial world of Corax Prime. Team 3 is moving toward their military academy on Velthos. All teams report ready for simultaneous assault. Webb smiled grimly. The aliens expected humans to defend Earth and nothing more. They never imagined that humanity had been building an interstellar strike force using captured alien technology. On the Velthari homeworld, panic spread through the government centers. High Commander Velktar received the impossible reports with growing alarm. Humans? In our space? How did they get here so quickly? Velktar demanded from his war room deep beneath the planetary capital. His intelligence chief, Sub-Commander Thralnex, studied the incoming data with confusion. Sir, our sensors show human ships using our own jump drive technology. Somehow they've copied and improved our FTL systems. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council chambers on the neutral world of Nexus Prime, representatives from dozens of species watched the unfolding crisis with amazement. Counselor Yathara of the Nexuri stood before the Great Assembly, her voice filled with wonder. Fellow counselors, she announced, we are witnessing something unprecedented in galactic history. A species considered primitive by the Velthari Empire is launching coordinated strikes against multiple alien worlds. At her station, Ambassador Zithlock of the Meridian Alliance shook her head in disbelief. The humans are using surgical precision. Look at these reports. They're targeting only military installations and government facilities. Civilian areas are being avoided entirely. This was unprecedented. When the Velthari conquered other worlds, they destroyed everything that might pose a future threat. Entire cities were reduced to rubble. But the humans were different. On the bridge of the Retribution, General Webb received updates from his strike teams across Velthari space. Captain Nina Kozlov reported from Strike Team 2. General, we've disabled the orbital shipyards at Corax Prime. No civilian casualties. The Velthari garrison surrendered after we demonstrated our superior firepower. Colonel Robert Chen's voice came from Strike Team 3. Veltos Military Academy has been secured. We've captured their entire officer training database. Again, 0 civilian casualties. Webb felt satisfaction at his team's professionalism. This was not a war of conquest or revenge. This was a message. Attack Earth, and humanity would respond with overwhelming but controlled force. All teams, execute Phase 2. Webb ordered. Begin broadcasting our terms. Across Velthari space, human ships transmitted the same message on all frequencies. Captain Rodriguez's voice carried clearly through the alien communication networks. This is Captain Maria Rodriguez of Earth Defense Command, speaking for all humanity. The Velthari Empire has threatened our world and our people. We respond not with the brutality you have shown other species, but with precision and purpose. On the Velthari homeworld, High Commander Velktar listened to the human broadcast with growing unease. The transmission continued. We have disabled your military capabilities at 12 locations. Your fleets are grounded, your weapons offline, but we have harmed no civilians and destroyed no cities. This demonstrates the difference between human justice and Velthari oppression. Back in the council chambers, the gathered aliens watched this development with intense interest. Never before had they seen a military campaign conducted with such restraint and precision. Counselor Rax Miran of the Altair survivors spoke with emotion. The humans are showing mercy to the very species that destroyed our worlds. This level of honor is unknown among the warrior races. Ambassador Zithlock activated her communication system. I'm receiving reports from across the galaxy. Word of humanity's actions is spreading rapidly. Several oppressed species are beginning to question Velthari rule. General Webb monitored the galactic communications networks from his ship. Human intelligence had learned to intercept alien transmissions years ago. What he saw pleased him greatly. Commander Hayes, he said, are you seeing these intercepts? Hayes smiled as she read the data. Yes, sir. Rebellion movements on 6 Velthari-controlled worlds. 3 more species are refusing to send tribute fleets. The Empire's authority is crumbling. This had been humanity's true strategy all along. Don't just defeat the Velthari military. Show the galaxy that their empire could be resisted. Prove that other species didn't have to live in fear. On the bridge of Strike Team 2, Captain Kozlov received an unexpected communication. The local Velthari commander was requesting terms for surrender. Tell them, Webb's voice came over the communications system, that we accept the surrender of all military forces. Civilian government will be returned to local control, and any Velthari officer who agrees to renounce aggressive expansion will be allowed to return home safely. This offer shocked the alien military leaders. In their culture, defeated enemies were enslaved or executed. The concept of honorable surrender was foreign to them. Commander Stone, monitoring events from Earth, reported to Captain Rodriguez. Ma'am, we're detecting massive changes in galactic political alignment. Former Velthari allies are withdrawing their support. Some are even offering assistance to the human fleet. Rodriguez studied the strategic displays. What about the other major powers? The hegemony? The Trade Federation? They're staying neutral for now, Stone replied. But our psychological profile suggests they're reassessing their previous assumptions about human capabilities. In his private chambers, High Commander Velktar faced the hardest decision of his career. His military advisors recommended total war against the humans, but his intelligence reports painted a grim picture. Sir, reported Subcommander Thralnex, our losses are already catastrophic. The humans have neutralized 60% of our offensive capability without losing a single ship. Their technology appears superior to ours in every category. Velktar stared at the tactical displays. How is this possible? 6 months ago, our intelligence rated humans as a Class 3 civilization. Now they're outfighting our best fleets. What the Velthari didn't understand was human adaptability. Every encounter with alien species had been a learning opportunity. Human engineers had studied and improved every piece of technology they could acquire. General Webb prepared for the final phase of the operation. All teams prepare for withdrawal to Rally Point Alpha. Mission objectives achieved with minimal casualties. But as his ships began to pull back, long-range sensors detected something disturbing. New contacts were jumping into the system, ships using technology far more advanced than anything the Velthari possessed. General, Commander Hayes reported with concern, we're detecting energy signatures that don't match any known alien technology. Whatever these new contacts are, they're not part of any species in our database. Webb felt a chill of apprehension. Humanity had just proven they could defeat the Velthari Empire, but it seemed their actions had attracted the attention of something far more dangerous. "Signal all strike teams," he ordered. "Form up on my position, and get me a direct line to Earth Command. Captain Rodriguez needs to know we may have a bigger problem than we thought." As the human fleet regrouped, the new alien contacts continued to approach. Whatever species they represented had been watching the battle with great interest, and now they were moving to investigate this new player in galactic politics. The war with the Velthari was ending in human victory. But something told General Webb that humanity's real test was just beginning. In the depths of space, ancient ships powered by technology older than most civilizations moved with purpose toward the solar system. The Korth Magni Empire had remained hidden for millennia, but humanity's display of military prowess had forced them into the open. The galaxy was about to meet its true masters. The day Earth struck back, savage HFY. Retaliation stuns the Galactic Council captain. Rodriguez stood in the expanded command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, staring at displays that showed star charts spanning half the galaxy. The room buzzed with activity as intelligence officers from a dozen species worked alongside human personnel. "Captain, we have confirmation from the Altair refugees," reported Commander Stone. "The Korth Magni Empire has been controlling galactic politics for over 10,000 years. They manipulate younger species into wars to identify potential threats." Dr. Volkov looked up from her analysis station. "And humanity just passed their test with flying colors. Our victory over the Velthari marked us as the most dangerous species they've encountered." The main screen shifted to show long-range sensor data. Massive ships were moving through deep space, heading toward Earth from multiple directions. Their technology signatures were unlike anything in human databases. Admiral Lisa Foster entered the command center, her uniform bearing the insignia of humanity's newest military branch, the Interstellar Defense Force. Once Rodriguez's rival, she had become one of Earth's most capable fleet commanders. "Maria," Foster said, using Rodriguez's first name despite their formal relationship. "The Korth Magni fleet is enormous. Our scouts count at least 300 ships, some the size of small moons." Rodriguez nodded grimly. "What about our allies?" Foster smiled. "That's the good news. Word of our honorable conduct has spread throughout the galaxy. Former Velthari colonies are sending ships to help defend Earth. Even some neutral species are offering support." The irony wasn't lost on Rodriguez. By showing mercy to defeated enemies and protecting civilian populations, humanity had earned something the Korth Magni never possessed: genuine loyalty from other species. Lieutenant Morrison, now promoted to the Intelligence Division, approached with a data tablet. "Captain, we've established secure communications with resistance movements on 47 worlds. They're asking for guidance on coordinating uprisings against Korth Magni rule." "Tell them to wait for our signal," Rodriguez replied. "We need to time this perfectly." On the Korth Magni flagship Eternal Dominion, Emperor Vashkol studied holographic displays showing human military capabilities. The ancient ruler had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. None had impressed him like these newcomers. War Master Koltharan, the Emperor addressed his military commander. "What is your assessment of the human threat?" The massive alien general activated tactical projections. "My lord, they possess several advantages we have not encountered before. Their technology adapts rapidly. Their military tactics are unpredictable. And most disturbing, they inspire loyalty in other species." Emperor Vashkol's 4 eyes studied the data with growing interest. "In 10 millennia, no species has managed to unite others against us. How do these humans accomplish this? They show mercy to defeated enemies, my lord. They protect civilians. They treat other species as equals rather than subjects. It is unprecedented." Back on Earth, Dr. Volkov worked frantically to complete humanity's newest innovation. The quantum communication network would allow instantaneous coordination between human forces and their alien allies across vast distances. "Maria, the quantum links are online," she reported. "We can now coordinate with our allies in real time, regardless of distance." Rodriguez felt a surge of hope. "How many species have joined the alliance?" Stone checked his communications panel. 37 species have committed ships to the defense of Earth. Former Velthari colonies, neutral traders, even some who were enemies of humanity 6 mana. The Alliance fleet began assembling near Jupiter. Ships of dozens of different designs worked together under human tactical coordination. Velthari cruisers flew alongside Altair destroyers and Nexuri science vessels. General Webb, recently returned from the Velthari campaign, coordinated the fleet movements from his command ship. All vessels, this is General Webb. Remember, we're not just defending Earth. We're fighting for the freedom of every species in the galaxy. On the bridge of the Velthari ship Redemption, Captain Thexavar, the same admiral who had originally attacked Earth, worked with human tactical officers to plan defensive strategies. His conversion from enemy to ally represented the power of humanity's approach to warfare. General Webb, Thexavar reported, "My people are ready to fight alongside yours. We have learned that honor in battle is more valuable than conquest." The first Korth Magni scouts arrived at the edge of the solar system. These probe ships used scanning technology that could analyze entire planets from light years away. What they found surprised them. Emperor Vashkol received the reports in his private chambers. Impossible. The humans have assembled a fleet of over 800 ships from 40 different species. How did they achieve such unity in mere months? War Master Koltharin studied the tactical data. "My lord, our infiltration networks report that human leaders held no secret meetings, made no threats, offered no bribes. They simply demonstrated their principles through action." Principles? The Emperor's voice carried millennia of cynicism. What principles could unite such diverse species? Justice, my lord, protection of the innocent, honor toward defeated enemies. Concepts we have not encountered in our conquest of the galaxy. On Earth, Colonel Park coordinated with the alien resistance movements. Messages poured in from across the galaxy as oppressed species prepared to rise up against their Korth Magni overlords. "Captain Rodriguez," Park reported, "we have confirmation from the underground networks. When we engage the Korth Magni fleet, simultaneous rebellions will begin on over 100 worlds." Rodriguez felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity had become the catalyst for the largest uprising in galactic history. But first, they had to survive the coming battle. Dr. Volkov activated the final preparations for Earth's defense. "All planetary shield generators are online. The asteroid defense grid is fully operational, and our surprise weapon is ready for deployment." The surprise weapon was humanity's greatest innovation, a network of quantum-entangled minds that could appear anywhere in the solar system instantly. The Korth Magni would find no safe passage to Earth. Admiral Foster's fleet took position near Mars. Her ships carried crews from multiple species, all working together with efficiency that amazed the galaxy. Human adaptability had created something unprecedented, true interspecies military cooperation. "All ships report ready," Foster announced. "Human vessels will engage the Korth Magni heavy units. Our allies will handle their escort ships and provide support." As the massive Korth Magni fleet entered the outer solar system, Emperor Vashkol made a final attempt to understand his opponents. He opened a communication channel to Earth. "Humans of Earth," his voice carried across space. "I am Emperor Vashkol of the Korth Magni Empire. For 10,000 years we have ruled this galaxy unopposed. Why do you choose to resist us?" Rodriguez's response was broadcast to every ship in both fleets and to listening posts throughout the galaxy. "Emperor Vashkol, I am Captain Maria Rodriguez, speaking for all free peoples of this galaxy. We resist you because you rule through fear and oppression. You crush the weak and enslave entire civilizations. Humanity will never bow to tyrants, no matter how ancient or powerful." The Emperor's laughter echoed across the communication channels. "Your defiance is amusing, human. But you face the combined might of 1,000 conquered worlds. What can your small alliance accomplish against such power?" Rodriguez smiled as she looked at the displays showing allied ships from across the galaxy. "You're about to find out that free beings fighting for their homes are stronger than any empire built on fear." The two fleets faced each other in the cold darkness of space. Humanity's diverse alliance prepared to battle an empire that had dominated the galaxy since before Earth's civilization began. But unknown to both sides, something even more significant was about to occur. The quantum communication network was carrying Rodriguez's words to every corner of the galaxy. Billions of oppressed beings heard humanity's message of freedom and hope. The battle for Earth was about to become the spark that would ignite a galactic revolution. The day Earth struck back, Savage HFY Retaliation stuns the Galactic Council. The space around Earth erupted into the largest battle in galactic history. Thousands of ships from dozens of species fought desperately against the ancient Korthmagny Empire. Captain Rodriguez watched from the command center as her carefully planned alliance faced its ultimate test. Admiral Foster's fleet is engaging the enemy vanguard, reported Commander Stone. First contact in 30 seconds. On the bridge of her flagship Unity, Admiral Foster coordinated the diverse Allied fleet with precision that amazed veteran military officers from across the galaxy. Human adaptability had created something unprecedented. Perfect cooperation between species that had never worked together before. All ships, execute pattern Delta, Foster commanded. Human vessels take point. Velthari ships provide covering fire. Axari vessels jam their communications. The battle unfolded like a deadly dance. Human ships, quick and maneuverable, struck at weak points in the Korthmagny formation. Velthari heavy cruisers provided massive firepower. Altair destroyers used their superior speed to harass enemy flanks. Emperor Vashkol watched from his flagship as his ancient empire faced unexpected resistance. Warmaster, how are these primitives coordinating so effectively? Warmaster Koltharan studied the tactical displays with growing respect. My lord, they are using quantum communication networks. Every ship in their fleet can coordinate instantly across any distance. We have never faced such tactical unity. Meanwhile, Commander Stone led a desperate mission to infiltrate the Korthmagny command ship. His team included specialists from multiple species, each contributing unique skills to the operation. Remember, Stone told his mixed-species team as their stealth ship approached the enemy flagship, we need to disable their planet-killer weapon. If that thing fires on Earth, our shields won't be enough. Lieutenant Torres, the human demolitions expert, checked her equipment. The charges are ready, sir, but we'll need to get past their internal defenses first. Zakrim, a former Velthari engineer now fighting for humanity, activated his scanner. I can override their security systems. Korthmagny technology is old but not impenetrable. Back in the main battle, Colonel Park coordinated ground-based defenses as Korthmagny assault ships broke through the Allied fleet. All planetary defense stations target the incoming dropships. Do not let them reach the surface. Dr. Volkov worked frantically at her station, managing the quantum mine network that had become humanity's secret weapon. Maria, I'm detecting massive energy buildup in their main fleet. They're preparing to use some kind of superweapon. Rodriguez felt ice in her veins. Can our shields stop it? Unknown. The energy levels are off our charts. As the battle raged, something extraordinary began happening across the galaxy. The quantum communication network was carrying live broadcasts of the fight to every world in known space. Billions of oppressed beings watched humans and their allies stand against impossible odds. On the mining world of Kepler-7, slave workers stopped their labor to watch human ships sacrifice themselves to protect smaller allied vessels. On the factory planet of Vega Prime, workers began sabotaging Korthmagny equipment. Throughout the Empire, the spark of rebellion grew into a flame. Commander Stone's infiltration team reached the core of the Korthmagny flagship. The ancient technology around them hummed with power accumulated over 10,000 years of conquest. There, Zakrim pointed to a massive control chamber. The planet killer's power core. If we can overload it, the entire weapon will be disabled. But as they moved toward their target, Emperor Vashkol himself appeared, accompanied by his personal guard. The ancient ruler studied the mixed-species team with something approaching admiration. Humans and their allies, the Emperor said in perfect English. You have achieved something remarkable. In 10 millennia, no species has inspired such loyalty in others. Stone kept his weapon trained on the Emperor. Then maybe it's time you learned that ruling through fear isn't the only way to build an empire. Vashkol's 4 eyes showed genuine curiosity. And what would you replace it with? Cooperation, Stone replied. Partnership. Respect for other species' right to exist free from oppression. As they spoke, Lieutenant Torres worked to plant her charges on the planet killer's power core. But she noticed something unexpected in the weapon's design. Commander, she whispered, this weapon isn't meant to destroy planets. It's meant to control minds. The Korthmagny don't conquer through military might alone. They use mental domination. Emperor Vashkol heard her words and smiled coldly. Clever humans. Yes, our true power has always been psychological. We make species want to serve us. But your minds proved resistant to our influence. The day Earth struck back, savage HFY retaliation stuns the Galactic Council. Stone understood. That's why you had to use proxies like the Velthari. You couldn't control us directly. Correct. And that makes you the most dangerous species we have ever encountered. The battle outside reached its climax as the Allied fleet faced overwhelming odds. Ships exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Brave crews from dozens of species died fighting for freedom they had never known. Admiral Foster's Unity took heavy damage as it shielded a group of smaller vessels. All ships, this is Admiral Foster. We cannot hold this position much longer. But just as the situation seemed hopeless, Dr. Volkov activated humanity's final surprise. The quantum mine network suddenly expanded throughout the entire solar system, creating an impenetrable barrier around the Korth Magni fleet. Maria, I've trapped their entire armada in a quantum containment field, Volkov reported. They can't retreat, but they also can't advance. Emperor Vashkol felt his flagship shudder as the quantum field activated around it. Impossible. Such technology should not exist, Stone smiled grimly. Human innovation, Your Majesty. We take everyone else's technology and make it better. Taurus finished placing her charges. Explosives are ready, sir. But I've made one modification. Instead of destroying the mind control weapon, I've reversed its polarity. The Emperor's eyes widened in understanding. You mean to free every species your empire has mentally enslaved, Stone confirmed. When this device activates, 10,000 years of psychological domination will end in an instant. Across the galaxy, beings who had served the Korth Magni without question suddenly felt their minds clear. On world after world, the artificial loyalty imposed by ancient technology shattered like glass. The effect was immediate and devastating to the Empire. Korth Magni administrators found themselves facing billions of newly awakened beings who remembered every injustice, every cruelty, every family member lost to imperial conquest. Emperor Vashkol slumped in defeat as reports poured in from across his crumbling empire. You have destroyed 10 millennia of order. No. Rodriguez's voice came over the communication system. We've restored 10 millennia of freedom. As the mind control network collapsed, something unexpected happened. Many of the Korth Magni soldiers and officers, no longer compelled by artificial loyalty to their emperor, began surrendering to the Allied fleet. War Master Koltheron's voice came over the flagship's communication system. My lord, I formally surrender my fleet to the Human Alliance. We wish to discuss terms for our people's integration into this new galactic order. The Emperor looked at his former general in shock. You betray your own species? I serve my species by ensuring their survival, Koltheron replied. These humans have shown they value honor above conquest. Under their guidance, perhaps we can learn to live without dominating others. The great battle was over. Humanity's alliance had not only defeated the Korth Magni Empire, but transformed it from within. As news spread throughout the galaxy, celebrations began on thousands of worlds. In the rebuilt Galactic Council chambers, representatives from hundreds of species gathered for the first truly free assembly in galactic history. Captain Rodriguez stood before them, not as Earth's representative, but as the first supreme guardian of galactic justice. Fellow beings, she addressed the assembly, we gather today not as conquerors and conquered, but as equals united in the pursuit of peace and justice. The age of empires built on fear is over. The age of cooperation begins now. Counselor Yathara of the Nexuri spoke for many when she said, the humans have given us something we thought lost forever, hope for a better galaxy. Former enemies now served as trusted allies. Velthari officers worked alongside human commanders to establish new peacekeeping forces. Even former Korth Magni officials found places in the new galactic government. Their ancient knowledge valuable in building a better future. Dr. Volkov presented the assembly with humanity's greatest gift to galactic civilization. The quantum communication network would be freely shared with all species, ensuring that never again could tyrants rule through isolation and fear. As Rodriguez looked out at the diverse assembly of beings working together, she felt profound satisfaction. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy through superior firepower or technological might. They had won through something far more powerful, the ability to inspire others to be their best selves. The galaxy remembered this day not as the fall of an empire, but as the birth of true civilization. and at its heart stood a small blue planet whose people had dared to believe that freedom was worth any sacrifice. Earth had struck back not with vengeance, but with hope. And in doing so, they had changed the galaxy forever.